Show from the field of 68 live from the Final Four. We have Jeff Goodman, we have Randolph Childress, we have John Fanta, Terrence Oglesby, Rob Dauster. The whole crew is here. My name is Greg Waddell. We are presented as always by Bet Rivers and by Underdog Fantasy. As you can see, lovely shirt. Thank you very much. Thank you. I had to bring out my best attire for the biggest night of the season. San Diego State and UConn. These two teams have taken very different paths to get here. UConn, one of the most dominant tournament runs we have ever seen. San Diego State just finding ways to grind out wins. Jeff, what do you expect tonight?
I expect another UConn double-digit win. I hope I'm wrong, but I've seen 5 of them so far in person. So it's hard to convince me that something else is going to transpire tonight, especially with a San Diego State team that, frankly, doesn't shoot the ball well, doesn't score it well. Doesn't have a ton of length in their guard play. I just don't know how they win this game other than the fact if they make every shot and UConn plays its D game and Jordan Hawkins doesn't make shots, Newton, Calcaterra. Again, I hope I'm wrong. I pray I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be wrong.
Do you think he's wrong?
I'm hoping he's wrong as well. I mean, I'm hoping it's a good game. I think that San Diego has to control the pace of the game, limit the possessions, can't turn it over. Maybe force some, be selective in their transition because they don't want to get in a ragtag up and down game. So they got to be selective, maybe off a bad shot or a turnover run. But other than that, control the pace. They are a physical team. They are the more physical, superior team on the perimeter, not necessarily inside whenever you have Adama Sanogo. So I think we'll have a chance. I'm hoping for a good game. I am. I think the bigger question is that we're going to end up. Yeah, I'm crossing my fingers for that. So.
You guys are not giving the most convincing pitch here.
No. Well, what do you want to do? Again, I've seen this story 5 times in the last 2.5 weeks.
I mean,
and they're dominant.
We have talked about it though. They've had games where for a half they haven't been dominant. Then they flip a switch in the second half.
Jordan Hawkins comes out.
Right.
And if he doesn't rear his head here, then maybe. San Diego State. Here's the only thing. If they can put some legitimate game pressure on UConn and get off to a good start and get a UConn team that hasn't dealt with any adversity yet in the tournament, we'll see. Are they, rattled at that point? Do they have the leadership? And does Danny Hurley go out of his mind if they go down 8 or 10 points? Well, that's the way to see, right?
If Hawkins doesn't shoot it well, I think we're going to – the one guy we've been critical of is point guard play. We talked about Tristan Newton.
Go after him.
They're going to go after him, and he cannot turn the ball over. He can't have a 3 or more turnover game. He has to get this team in the offense. If he could take care of the ball, get them in the offense, I think they're difficult to beat.
Yeah. All right. Our friends with Bet Rivers, I believe it is 7.5 is the point spread now. We'll save our predictions for the very end of our segment here. I want to move to the women's game. We had a national champion crowned. LSU, Kim Mulkey, fantastic offensive performance from their entire team. But the story of that game, the headlines that have been made in the last 24 hours, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and the quote-unquote shit-talking back and forth. Yeah. We talked about it briefly before we clicked record here, but RC, what'd you make of this? What's happening? Who's in the wrong? Is anyone in the wrong?
The only people in the wrong are the ones that's making a big fuss about this. I think when you're when you're playing this game, trash talking, shit talking is part of the game. The players are used to it, and I think what happened is when you're playing, the great thing about sports is when you're playing sports, you don't see race. You're just playing. You don't care if your teammate's white or black. It's like, hey, we're together, we're going to win. I think what happened is the casual fan is watching that and watched the white team and then watched this team and thought it was black and then started mischaracterizing everything that's going on. It's just shit talking. It's part of the sport. Get over it. Great performance by those women. Caitlin Clark is unbelievable talent. Next day, next page.
We just don't see that shit talking in the women's game very often. So I think that's where it came in on the biggest stage.
Right.
And Caitlin Clark talks shit.
Oh, she does all the time.
Right.
And she backs it up, and she backed it up that game with 30-piece. Like, what are we talking about?
Again, to me, it was more of we're not used to it.
Right.
We're not used to it. We saw it. People react. I thought the bigger thing, honestly, to me, is Kim Mulkey. Like, I can't watch her. I can't watch her. No, it's ridiculous.
What, for the outfits or for everything else?
Everything. The whole deal.
The whole experience.
The whole experience. Again, we've talked about this with some of the men's coaches, too. Yeah. Tee her ass up. Tee her up.
I'll say this. I thought one of the incidents where everybody was talking, I thought it was the official that put his hand out toward her I didn't think it was her instigating any
Right,
contact
and
there.
then-
So
and then she
I thought
kinda-
I
then
think
there was
he
contact.
put his hands on her.
But she's out on the court. She's out of
But every
control.
coach does that.
But
I'm
tee
not
'em up
knocking
early.
it. Yeah, if you
Like,
want to do
again,
that.
but these refs are intimidated.
They
It
were
was
so
it was
bad in
They
that
were awful.
game,
They were
though.
awful.
That game was bad. That's the last thing they needed to do was throw another technical out. But that performance by the officials.
threw one out for
was-
Caitlin.
They did. They
It
did.
was
They
not
did.
exactly,
Yeah,
appropriate.
Yeah, that was
did.
tough.
It was hard to it's hard to speak looking back at the story of the game without
just
mentioning
sucks.
the officiating.
It
which
sucks that we're talking about
Yeah.
this rather than, again, Reese and Clark going back and forth and a hell of a performance by LSU.
Great
A
performance.
hell of a performance.
Great performance.
Right. I feel obligated to ask, is there a difference just in the context of the moments Caitlin Clark has had her shit talking? Because you guys said it, she talks all game long.
Yeah, I've watched her in
right?
Big Ten play.
Right.
Like I've watched Big Ten
Right.
women's basketball this year. I saw her in person against UConn at PK 85, and man, she's unbelievable to watch.
It's
But
constant.
She talks a lot. She
But
does.
is there a difference between in the game versus after the game, right? When the
It's fair.
victory has been secured.
It's fair. It's all fair. You talk trash, you better win. I mean, I don't understand it. And the only people that complain about that to me are people that's never played sports. If you
Did
ever
she do
played
it
in
after the game too on social media as well?
It's
I don't-
ongoing a little bit.
I mean, at this point, it's taken a life of its
You
own.
want to do it once, I'm fine. You want
Yeah.
to put your finger up and, hey, I got a ring and you don't. Okay, I get it. That's fine. And then I think when it's over, take the high road then.
Not
You
for
won.
not for the chip. For a game,
won.
I'm with you.
You won.
If I win the chip,
That's what
I
I'm saying.
get
You do
bragging
it.
rights, shit talking, all. Okay, so that's like Rob. This is what we're gonna do. So if UConn wins tonight,
Yeah, he can
I'm gonna
talk, and
tolerate
then he's
Rob
done.
shit tonight.
And then
But
he's
when we
done.
wake up tomorrow,
It's over.
I don't have to hear it anymore. That's what we're saying.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Hell yeah.
Did I take
The rules have
retract that?
changed,
Retract that. I'm
right?
done. I'm good. I'll accept that.
We-
All right, we got the rules.
We got it established.
Sign the dotted line, wrapped, delivered, perfect. All right, the other big news today, the transfer portal. I mean, every single day at this point, it seems like it
Wow.
outdoes itself over and
Wow.
over and over again. Today, the two biggest names, LJ Cryer is in the portal, Max Asmus is in the portal. Jeff, is Asmus the bigger name there?
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I mean, this is a dude who carried his team to the Sweet 16 a couple years ago, took him back to the NCAA tournament after running the table in their league this year. He's an elite shooter who can handle it. He can create. What do you want more than a guard who can do what he can do? He is the number one guy in the portal right now because he can make people better. He can shoot it from deep. He can get to the basket. He's a little small, but he's a proven winner, too.
I don't know about that. Give me LJ Crowd all day long.
Really?
I do.
Really?
I do.
But you know what? Asmus can handle it. He can run the point.
I love the options. to
Crier's
get me
not a point.
I don't need him as a point. I need him as a bucket getter.
Well, he can be a bucket getter.
That's all I need him
fine.
for. Go get me a bucket. I can find me a point guard to run my team. I need him to be what he is, and I think he's a bucket. 41% from three. I love him.
Problem is, you know what he wants? He wants to be a point.
Well, he's trying it, but because he wants to get to the next level. In
he's
my
small.
system, the point guard shoot
That
a lot.
scares
So
me.
my
But that
system,
scares
the
me a
point
little
guard
bit.
plays off the ball.
If he's going to go somewhere and his things are, all right, I want NIL and I want to play the point, I'm a little scared because I'm not going to give him the ball and just say, hey, run my team. I don't think he's a point.
No. He's in my system. My point guards are off the ball in my system.
All right.
That's gonna be my conversation with him.
Can we do my favorite thing, guys? Can we tamper a little bit here?
Of course,
Yeah,
why
we-
not?
we
I'm
can
all
have
for it. I'm
It's
here
my
for
favorite
it.
thing.
I'm
It's
here
always
for
my
it.
favorite
Let's go.
thing. Where will LJ Cryer end up? Where should he end
Wow.
up? What's a perfect spot for him? Because the first one that jumps out to me, guys,
Yeah.
Purdue. Let's get
Yeah,
Zach
Purdue,
Edey back.
Purdue
Let's
would be
get
good.
them
They
an
need a
elite
combo
shooter.
guard. They need a combo guard. I mean, I would still say I want a guy who really is more point than two. For me, for Purdue.
Replace Braden Smith?
No, not replace, but play alongside him. Yeah, LJ is not bad for that. I mean, listen, there are worse options. Obviously, Purdue's going to go to the portal and try to get somebody that can take some of the pressure off of Braden Smith. I'd be on him. I'd be on him if I'm Matt Painter. You know, again, all these kids right now are going in NIL, and they want more. They want more no matter what they are, right? I'm the second leading scorer. I want to be the leading scorer. If they're coming off the bench, I want to start. Even if they're the leading scorer, I want more NIL. It's tough right now, and I get it. Like, I get it, but, you know, sometimes, again, you know, and some of it may depend on Adam Flagler, too, right? Like, if last year, you know, LJ Cryer, he saw Keontae George. He had to share the limelight with two other dudes that could score it and kind of had the ball in their hands a lot. Now, if Flagler's gone, it's kind of your deal right now. Why are you leaving?
I don't understand the entry into the portal. I don't get it. I don't know what he's looking for other than saying, hey, I want a big paycheck. You have success there. You're winning. You're in the best league. You get everything. I don't. It's a head scratcher.
Sometimes
to me.
it's not the kids.
No,
That's
true.
all I'm
True. It's not. True. It's not. Most
Sometimes
times it's
the
not.
kids.
Most times it's not.
It is unique, certainly, to have.
Can we play the same game with Max Asmus?
Of course we can. Of course we
All
can.
right, so Max Asmus's coach, who just left, Oral Roberts, Paul Mills. You know who he worked for before? Scott Drew. He was Scott Drew's assistant at Baylor. So that could be an easy fill-in right there.
Little
And,
trade?
You know, religious school. Oral Roberts, Baylor, religious school. Makes some sense, doesn't it?
What about Wichita State?
Yeah, I mean, he could follow Paul Mills.
Right.
But, you know, if I'm him, I want to play in a big boy league if I'm leaving.
What about Arizona?
Arizona, play with Boswell. Yeah, they could coexist. I mean, listen, here's what I'll say. Every team in the country
Yeah, everybody wants these guys.
would take either one of them.
Right.
I think. Every team in the country.
Is
Right now.
Asmus 1A at the top of the portal list right now? I mean, Hunter Dickinson entered the portal. There's a lot of big name players there right now. If you're
Asmus is one. Asmus is one.
without question,
Without question, I mean, he's one.
Something tells me he's won for about
That may be right.
3 or 4
Yes.
days.
May not even be. Maybe until tomorrow. I mean, like,
I think he's
Max
won something.
Asmus or Hunter Dickinson. Who do you want? Who do you want for your team?
I mean,
Give me a guard.
It depends on the build,
day.
right? If I'm starting a team from scratch, give me a guard. But I do think there are questions with the level of play,
Sure.
right? Like getting a guy who's been first team All-American in a conference like the Big Ten
me a
is
guard.
unprecedented.
Give me a guard.
Always take the guard.
That's what I'll say.
Okay. Back to our game tonight, national championship game. I feel like we've kind of just floated over that. We had too much news today, but trust me, we're going to break this down, and we will do a post-game show as well right here on the Field of 68 YouTube channel. Make sure you tune back in after the game. About an hour after the game is when we'll be live with the whole crew once again. San Diego State and UConn, as we mentioned. These two, earlier in the show, basically said they're thinking UConn's going to have their way with San Diego State. We'll see if they're right. Boys, give me your boldest prediction for tonight. If UConn is going to win big, is it a massive Jordan Hawkins performance? No calamari. What's the bold prediction?
My bold prediction is that we're going to have a one-possession game under 3 minutes to play.
Wow.
I just think this team is experienced, and they have the size on the inside to match up with UConn that I don't know if anyone else in this league has, that they played against. And I just think that they match up better that way. They're a physical team, they're a defensive team, and they're an experienced team. So if anyone is going to give this team trouble, I would like for them to shoot it better. They're going to need Parrish. They're going to need Matt Bradley, some guys to step up on the offensive end. But if they can get 2 of their 3 guards to score, I think I like their options. I give them a chance, really good chance.
I don't even know if I have a bold prediction.
Yeah.
I don't know. What, that Jordan Hawkins goes off. I mean, that Sanogo has a career night. You know, you're looking for one here, and I guess my bold prediction is that Tristan Newton ends up making 5 threes and is kind of the player of the game tonight. That
Wow.
would be my bold prediction. He looks over at all of us and says, "F you."
Yeah.
F you all.
Oh, you've been doubting me all
Yes.
year. Yeah.
Yes.
That was my favorite thing from just the aura in the UConn locker room. You could go to locker by
Yeah,
locker.
I think he told Fanta to F off, didn't he?
Oh, he told Dauster?
He told
He
Dauster,
told
too?
Dauster.
Oh,
Of course.
he's in the back of the line with that one. Like, there's been a lot of that. I mean, like,
But it's not just him. Like, every single dude in that locker room feels like they have something to prove. It's fascinating to me. So, no Danny Hurley moment, though? I thought that was going to be your bold prediction.
No, there'll be a moment, but I don't know how bold it is to say Danny Hurley is going to cry like a baby.
afterwards.
Well,
will.
that's
He's going
not
to be like a
bold.
little, right, he's going to be
After
like
he
a little
wills.
baby.
A
after
tiny
the
little,
game.
will
little
be.
newborn baby. Okay.
Yeah,
All
like,
right.
After he will.
You know, I mean, I guess the boldest prediction would be like, you know, Hurley picks up. I actually think Danny's been much better with the refs, and I think that honestly has translated to the play and the even keel approach of some of the players.
Yeah, I don't think he risked that. And
No.
the magnitude of this game, can you imagine being a coach to get teed up and your team loses a game by possession in
Can't
the
do
game?
it.
You
Right,
can't do it.
right.
He won't do that tonight.
And your dad's there, and you know, like, listen, Dan Hurley, both these coaches have been fun to listen to. And I've known both for 20 years, and they're both so just real about who they are and what they say. There's not a lot of bullshit to either one. You know, Dan Hurley is who he is,
Yeah.
right? And you talk to his brother, you talk to his dad. They're very similar. they'll make fun, they'll poke fun at each other. And Dutch is just like, what you see is what you get. So
This
I
team
love
plays
this.
like
it. Yeah, they're both. It's kind of cool to see both on this stage when you didn't think, certainly a year or two ago, maybe either of them would ever get here.
Right. Yeah. All right, here's my bold prediction, boys. Last year, national championship game, the team that felt like destiny, North Carolina, jumps out to a huge lead in that game. It looks like they were going to cakewalk to a championship. Then the better team in that game showed up, stormed back, ripped it away in blowout fashion. We're going to see that again tonight. I think we're going to see San Diego State early take control of this game.
That'd be fun. We need that.
Have some intrigue, and then UConn does the UConn. Second half, 25-point margin.
Hawkins
Everyone's
Jordan
hitting
Hawkins.
threes. It just avalanches, and the Huskies cut down the nets. There you have it, folks. Jeff Goodman, Randolph Childress, I'm Greg Waddell. Coming up next, we're going to get our other crew in here, Rob Dauster, Terrence Oglesby, John Fanta, to break down the matchups in the national championship game live from the Final Four.
Today's episode of the Field of 68 After Dark is presented by our partners over at Underdog Fantasy, the easiest place to play college basketball pick'em, where you can win real cash prizes simply by picking player stats in this weekend's Final Four games. And pick'em, all you do is pick whether a player will go higher or lower on Underdog's projected totals, whether it's points or rebounds or assists or all of them combined. If you're like me and you think Adama Sanogo is going to go nuts this weekend, pick higher on his points projection, pick higher on his rebounds projection, maybe throw in a lower on Matt Bradley's scoring totals, a higher on Isaiah Wong, whatever it is that you like. Put them all together, and if you hit them all, then you can win as much as 20 times your money on a single game. Underdog's slick mobile app is easy enough that dummies like Jeff Goodman have even figured out how to use it. So go to UnderdogFantasy.com or download the app and use the code FIELD, that's FIELD, to get a 100% deposit match up to $100. It has a $5,000 prize pool. Who doesn't like free money? I like free money. So if you like free money like me, then go and download the Vaulted app at the link below, sign up for your free 3-month trial, and store your predictions now. And you know what the best part about the end of the college basketball season is? That signifies the start of spring, the start of summer, the start of hot weather, the start of late nights, the start of weekends on the water, and the best way to stay refreshed during the summer months is with Hornitos Ranch Water, a premium sparkling cocktail with a balance of freshly squeezed lime paired with smooth tequila notes. Hornitos Tequila is a 100% agave premium tequila from the lowlands of Jalisco. It's specifically from the town of Tequila. Originating from one of the most historic distilleries, Hornitos paved the way for all future tequila brands, starting with the tequila name. An official partner of the Houston Astros, you can buy Hornitos Ranch Water in a can, or you can come to Houston's best sports bar, Little Woodrow's in Edo, and get a fresh, handmade cocktail with Hornitos Tequila. There's nothing better on a warm spring day than Hornitos Ranch Water and a Houston Astros baseball game. The kind of fan that gets frustrated that this beautiful sport has such a lack of national coverage outside of the month of March? Well, let me tell you about the Field of 68, an all-encompassing digital network of podcasts, live streams, and newsletters that cover the sport at every level on every platform. From the bluest of the blue bloods to the smallest of the mid-majors, the only way to keep up with college basketball is through the Field.
Welcome back to NRG Stadium, everybody. This is the Field of 68 National Championship Game Preview Show. I'm John Fanta. He's Terrence Oglesby. He is Rob Dauster. We are with you here from H-Town. The Connecticut Huskies and the San Diego State University Aztecs. Who would have thought 147 nights ago when this marathon started and we were revving up that this would be the matchup? Huskies, Aztecs. Terrence Oglesby, the headline to this game for you is?
It's going to be a rock fight. And I think if San Diego State can keep this game in the twos, and what do I mean by that? Keep UConn off the three-point line and defend the three ball really well, make it a meat grinder type of game. If they're scoring around the rim, both teams muck it up, make it physical. I think that's how they keep it up. And what does that mean really? When you play football, you want teams to run the ball, to waste clock, to keep it lower scoring. I think this game needs to be very similar for a San Diego State team, guys, that quite frankly, while they are good and they are old, they're not quite as talented as this UConn team who has played so well since about January 31st. They've been that good.
They had a 5-week stretch where they were terrible.
Yes.
And outside of that 5-week stretch, they have been one of the most impressive teams that we've seen in recent years. I do think that the point that you make, T.O., about running UConn off of the three-point line, UConn gets them up. That's what they want to do.
Sure.
They want Adama Sanogo post touches, they want threes, and they want guys driving to the rim and getting to the basket. What San Diego State does really well defensively, two things. One is they don't let you get that dribble penetration. They're very good at cutting it off. I'm not too concerned about that for UConn because UConn's offense is built on running sets.
Right.
It's not built on isolation. It's not built on, all right, your turn. It's different. It's very different from what Miami does. So I think that is in UConn's benefit. But San Diego State is as good as any team in college basketball, quite literally, at defending a three, best three-point percentage defense, and two, forcing you to take tough threes. That's what they do. You can get up a lot of threes against UConn or against San Diego State's defense, but they make them difficult three-point shots. So the question to me is whether or not UConn can run their offense and get those open looks. Because if they can, I think they're going to be able to make them.
UConn has made 50 three-pointers in this NCAA tournament. It is what has led them to winning their 5 games by a combined 103 points. Now, San Diego State, they've got things going for them. Like you said, that three-point defense. Here's another thing. Their last 3 games, Terrence Oglesby, the Aztecs have allowed a total of 0 fast break points. Does that change tonight?
I don't know that it does. The only thing that would initiate that is UConn's defense, which, guys, is top 5 in the country. That's something that is a little bit different than what San Diego State has seen here recently. While FAU does have a good defense, they were top 30 nationally. Now you're going up against a UConn defense that's top 5 nationally with so much length, the ability to get out in the passing lanes, a lot of passes that are in offense that's going to be pushed out towards half court. That changes the way San Diego State is going to do things. Are they going to be able to get out, initiate the break with some live ball turnovers? That's to be determined. But that all being said, San Diego State hasn't seen a defense like UConn has all postseason.
Yeah, and here's my question. Do you think UConn's going to be able to get to the offensive glass? And 2, do you think San Diego State is going to go at the offensive glass? That's where I think we're talking about transition game, right? That's where I think that gets won. Because what UConn will do is they'll send 3, sometimes 4 guys to the offensive glass, and they'll sell out. If you want to be able to run against them and you can clear the defensive glass, you can run on them. At the same time, I mean, if I'm San Diego State, I'm sending Nathan Mensah, I'm sending
Agueco-Rope, Jaden Ledee.
My 5, I'm sending to the offensive glass. Maybe your 4-man too, but I'm getting everybody back. Make them play against a set defense. I think that's what the entire goal for San Diego State should be: make UConn play against a set defense, accomplish exactly what you were talking about earlier.
And on top of that, you talked about the offensive glass. I think that's huge for UConn, too, because that's another way for them to get those kick-out threes. That's where Jordan Hawkins flourishes. His ability to – they let the other 4 go, and then he's just finding an avenue to get an open look. And those shots for him, they're horse shots. I mean, if they can take care of the offensive glass, UConn's going to find a lot of extra opportunities from beyond the arc, and I think that could be the thing that turns the game on its head.
And he's feeling better today.
It's good news.
He's feeling better. I think he's
36 hours.
Yeah,
36 hours.
Who's the player that by the night's end you think we're going to be talking about?
It depends on who wins, right? But I think if San Diego State's able to pull this off, you're looking at Bradley. He's going to be the guy. He has to have a good game. He got off to a tremendous start against Florida Atlantic after a bad second weekend in this tournament. If they are to win, he's got to be huge. And when I say huge, up in that 25-point in this game mark. If it's UConn, though, Jordan Hawkins. I think he's going to be the story. He's going to have to hit shots, especially the way San Diego State plays defense. He's going to be the X factor for them.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Tristan Newton. I think that's who we're going to be talking about at the end of this game. Adama Sanogo's going to do his thing. He's just so steady and consistent. You know he's going to get 20 and 10, right? You know he's going to get 18 and 9, whatever it is. He's going to get his points. Jordan Hawkins is going to make his threes. It's almost inevitable, right? And I think that Andre Jackson is kind of who he is. He's got, you might get the 4-4-4 game from him. You might get an 8-9-10 game from him. But whatever it is, he's going to do his job and play his role. Tristan Newton is the key to me. We talk about how playing against a half-court defense, T.O., you just mentioned you want to push them out, make them run offense from 40 feet away.
Sure.
If you're not able to get a shot out of your sets, what are you doing? You're putting Tristan Newton in a DHO. You're letting him go in a ball screen. You're going to let him go try to beat somebody off the bounce, get into the paint, find a shooter, make a play, whatever it is. I think that it's going to come down to Tristan Newton. You talk to him about this. We have questioned his point guard ability throughout the season, throughout the tournament. Goodman has, you have, I have, everybody has. He's averaging 5 assists on the season. He had 8 assists on Saturday night.
A lot of that has to do with the offense they run too. Let's
sure.
not.
Sure, but he's been good.
He has been very
what we're
good.
going to see is a very good Tristan Newton performance.
I think you're right, and I also think you're going to be able to see an Andre Jackson that's going to be utilized a little bit differently today. I don't think San Diego State's going to back off in the paint. That's not their identity. That's where I think this is going to be a little bit different than recent games. He's going to be able to attack normally with guys guarding him, and he might be the guy that can spring load some offense for UConn as well.
Here's my take tonight. I think back to 2018 when Villanova rolled to a national championship. They beat Michigan. And on that night, somebody emerged. It was Dante DiVincenzo.
Oh, I know where you're going.
So for me tonight, I think the guy that's going to play the best game of his UConn career, I think you're actually mistaken. I think Alex Karaban's going to play the best game of his UConn career tonight. I think he's going to get open shots. I think you have to pick your poison guarding UConn. Karaban, to me, is the epitome of a next play guy. There's not a stage that's too big for this kid. He just plays. And I think you will see him play a big-time game for this team tonight.
Agreed. He's going to have opportunities. That ball goes swing. He's going to have opportunities. The only thing is they're going to have somebody create some things. That's where I think Andre Jackson is going to be in there. I also think Karaban's going to be the beneficiary of some of those playmaking things. So you're absolutely right, Fanta. I like that pick.
To the person who's thinking about sitting on the couch tonight, and they're like, well, the national championship matchup, I appreciate that, by the way.
Yeah.
National championship matchup it's okay.
They go dig a hole.
Sorry. What would I say to them?
Yeah.
You don't like sports? Why? I don't understand people that don't want to watch championship matches.
Also 30-8 against 32-6.
Yeah, and look, I don't understand people that were like, it's women's basketball. I don't want to watch LSU play Iowa. This is what we do. Sport. This is why we're in this business. This is what we play sports for. It's to be able to go cut down those nets. I'm fired up for it. I'm juiced up.
Can't
for
wait.
it. I was fired up for LSU Iowa. Not as fired up as Angel Reese was apparently, but I was fired up for that game.
Your reaction to the Caitlin Clark Angel Reese drama?
I loved it. Let me say, I loved it. Look, Caitlin Clark, she talks her talk. She lost. Angel Reese, let her know about it. This is what competitors do. If you've ever played sports at a high level, which T.O. has, which I haven't, but this is what you do.
Vassar's college basketball now.
Vassar's
You
college
beat him in a
basketball.
sport this week.
Technically,
You beat him in a sport.
I am 3-1 against T.O. in shooting contests.
First of
in
all,
my
2-1. 2-1. I don't know where the third one came from.
I'd be embarrassed by 2-1.
But 2-1.
You're
and
2-1?
It was a one. It was a Papa shot. It was a Papa shot.
What's that? Who? Dagan
Well,
Hughes.
You guys need to start showing up to a real court. Like you guys are just messing around playing
I'm
children's
1-0
games.
against Rob.
That's right. He beat you last
Papa
night.
shot, you had like 27. You were half asleep.
beat
Yeah,
me
I had
last night?
34.
He did. He beat
1-0.
you.
I have
Thank
no
you.
I have no recollection.
You don't
of
remember that?
No.
It was Papa shot, all
I
right.
have no recollection of that. No, but I loved everything about that on all sides. Now, if you want to say, okay, look, like maybe it was a little bit over the top, like okay, I get it. But whatever, like I'm always pro trash talk. I hate the idea of like the technical fouls and you stare somebody down, or you dunk on someone and you stare them down, you get a technical foul, right? I hate that. Sportsmanship is overrated.
I don't know about that. To me, it was just such a non-issue. Like you're talking trash. Caitlin Clark talked the duration of the tournament, and then Reese at the end of the game, they're winning. She gets to say something then. I don't think it's a big issue. The only thing that I thought was weird, and it's not good, it's not bad, I just thought it was weird, was when she said I felt or one of the players for LSU said they felt disrespect by another player from another team. I thought that was strange. To me, that didn't make sense, but I'm very open to trash talk. I didn't think anything about it. It was such a non-issue. The issue was the officiating. That was the thing. The whole issue with that game was the officiating. The rest of that stuff was nonsense. And to people who actually watch basketball consistently, I don't think anybody thought anything of it. It's people that haven't watched women's college basketball all year that picked it up for the first time and was shocked at the amount of intensity that these young women play with. It was a non-issue. Yeah. These are very talented, high-level athletes. Why is it an issue that they're talking trash? Of course they're going to talk trash. It's a non-issue.
I'll say what it is. It was the all-white Iowa team losing to the all-black LSU team.
But okay, so that's fine.
Like
that's fine.
That's
fine. But that's.
And then it's also like.
I hear you. But the only thing is for those who haven't watched college basketball all year, it's new. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Was the fact that you were, I think a lot of people weren't necessarily expecting that level of basketball because they don't turn into women's hoops. Yeah. Watch them. Caitlin Clark's awesome. Angel Reese is awesome. There's a reason why that was the most viewed women's Final Four ever.
Yep.
They sold out an NBA arena for
And Caitlin Clark, man, it's good. Caitlin Clark can handle it. Yeah. She can handle it. Like it's enough. Like I don't know why it was. I don't know why it was an issue.
Anybody that's arguing that it is an issue, go to bed.
Yeah, go to bed.
Go to bed.
That's right.
Stop. Like, shut up. I'm sorry, but the people making this an issue are ridiculous. This is sports. It's a game. You're allowed to trash talk to somebody. If there's anybody that should be criticized, it's the officials for calling a technical foul for throwing a ball into the baseline. Who cares?
At the end of the game, and it was their best player's fourth.
And by the way,
that's the issue.
And I hope the officials tonight get a memo from yesterday's championship game. I don't want to see Adama Sanogo on the bench with 2 early fouls. I don't want to see Nathan Mensah on the bench with 2 early fouls. Let the game be decided by the players who are playing it, who earn their way to get here.
Who you got?
End of story. Who do I got? I got UConn winning by 10.
I'm going UConn. I think it's going to be up in that 12 to 15-point range.
I agree. I think it's going to be closer to that because I think the game is going to be in like that 60 to 52 kind of a range. I just don't see UConn being able to run away from San Diego State. But it's going to be one of those games where it's like 2 to 3 possessions the entire game, and you're just watching it, and you're like, I don't know. It never feels like it's as close as the score actually is.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
It absolutely does. And another thing, this is not our last show, but we're getting there. Guys, it's been fun. Like, especially with you two, with Jeff, with Randolph, with Greg, with Dagan, everybody. This has been fun. We got one more after this one. And I'm hoping for a great championship game.
There are times where I have to sit there and kind of be like, is this real life?
Yeah.
Moments like sitting on a panel with John Fanta, Randolph Childress, and Tyler Hansbrough after Jim Boeheim just walked out of our show with 150 UConn fans behind us chanting and screaming, Tyler Olander has more titles than you, right at Jim Boeheim, while we are getting ready to go have a ping pong tournament with Psycho T.
Yep.
It's just like,
Eddie won.
A lot of nonsense. Yeah, he did. He dominated. He didn't win. He dominated.
Is this happening? Yeah. Are we really doing this, guys? It's like, is this
a lot of cool stuff.
This is a thing. It's fun, man. I love it.
To everybody that watches and listens, we'll be with you after the game as well. It's a privilege to bring you cover of a sport that we love. We hope you get a 10th out of what we all get from this.
Without question.
Excitement, thrill, and friends. We've made great friends.
Here's the biggest thing. This platform doesn't exist without people watching and engaging and sharing. And, well, maybe the chat can chill out just a little bit, guys. You guys are off the rails these days.
You're awesome, though.
But, like, this doesn't happen without people that watch. And I don't know what it is about us that people connect to. But obviously it works because people are watching and tuning in. So,
like
seriously, we thank every single one of you.
Guys.
This is awesome. We wouldn't be able to do it without people watching and paying attention and being interested in it.
Put a curtain down on this pregame show. Thanks to Dagan Hughes. Thanks to Trevor Valise, Randolph Childress, Greg Waddell, Jeff Goodman. For Rob Dauster, for Terrence Oglesby, I'm John Fanta. We'll leave you with this. Connecticut, San Diego State, for all the marbles. That matchup, the beauty of college basketball is reflected in it. An outstanding defensive juggernaut. that's been waiting for this shining moment. They get theirs tonight. A power in UConn who can reestablish itself and leave no doubt in that blue blood conversation this evening, looking for a 5th national championship since 1999. It is the beauty of this sport that you could have a team going for that and the other going for a first. Enjoy the game. We'll talk to you after. Thank you for following us all season long, because it's a privilege to do it.